Podcast 849. Missed it by that much.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's mighty MyMac podcast with the GGGGGG men. That's Guy and myself, Gaz, over here in the UK. According to some, Apple and Google market dominance in smartphone operating systems is stifling competition. While some of their points are valid, they also are ignoring the consequences of opening the ecosystems to everyone. What do you think about that, Guy, or shall we wait until the second section?
Oh, we have so much to talk about in the second section.
Excellent. I've got a little bit to say about that actually in the first section in one of my snippets as well.
Okay.
But I won't go on. Don't worry. How has your week been this week? Because it's funny, you start off as though not a lot's happened, and then you write 3 sentences.
Yeah, 3? All right. Just 3?
Sorry, 3 paragraphs.
There we go. Yeah. The first sentence here is a quiet week for the most part. And then it turned out, no, it really was not. It was not quiet at all. As some of you, especially if you live on the East Coast of the United States, may be aware of, there was a hack on the pipeline that goes between, I guess, New Jersey and Texas that supplies almost all the gasoline for the central and south Atlantic regions of the United States.
Did they pay $5 million to get that back up?
Yeah, well, at first they said they didn't, but as it turns out, they did. Because people were just completely losing their minds. And part of what made it really bad was the panic buying on the part of so many idiots. I'm sorry, upstanding citizens that once they got below, say, 3/4 of a tank, they started looking for someplace to fill up again. So again, I was down to maybe 75 miles in my tank before I started looking for a station that didn't have like a 50-car lineup. And as it happened, there was one on my way home from work yesterday. And I probably could have gotten through the weekend without putting more gas in the car, but I may have been totally screwed on Monday if I hadn't. So when I saw there was a station open, it was like, okay. And I basically sat in line for half hour, 45 minutes.
Wowza. Before
I finally got up to fill the tank. And part of what was making it take so long, because they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pumps going, but they were all going at the same time. And I think the tanks themselves were starting to run dry because it was coming out really, really slow. So it was just, the cars were lining up behind me. I hit it right at the right time, where if I had waited like probably 10 minutes, it would have taken me twice as long to get to the pumps, if I could have even gotten to the pumps when there was still gas.
Crazy, man.
Yeah. So again, now, but hopefully by this time next week, things will be back to, I say this almost half jokingly, normal here on the East Coast of the United States. My son Peter is actually, he and some of his friends are going down to Florida on starting Thursday or Friday for a trip. They do this every year. They go down to Universal Studios, but they drive it. So they may have some issues if this isn't resolved before then. But
I'm sure it will be.
Since I wasn't invited, not that I wanted to go anyway, Peter.
Your dad's mad, man.
Yeah. No, I'm not mad. I'm not angry.
No. I was just
disappointed.
Guy. I'm just commenting on you generally. You're mad.
Yeah. Well, I am mad. The crazy mad. Got it. Yeah.
Whoosh.
Another shocker. So some of the other problems besides people panic buying gas with tanks that didn't really need it, a lot of them were filling up various receptacles with gas.
I've just seen what you've said they're filling up with.
Yeah. There were some people. Now, if you have one of those plastic containers that you put that is designated and designed to hold gasoline,
Yeah, because it's a special. Because it's a special.
You're
plastic.
Still an idiot because you're filling up a container with gasoline because tanks are, I guess, running dry or whatever. But some people, and there was one special kind of idiot, filling plastic bags, literally plastic bags with gasoline, because how could that possibly go wrong? Oh, wait. One guy had a GM Hummer that somehow caught on fire while he was traveling home because one of these bags leaked out and the gas combusted.
Wow.
Yeah. And the fact that he was driving a GM Hummer just kind of adds, it's the cherry on top of the icing on the delicious chocolate cake that is irony.
Not much of a cherry though, is it? A bloody Hummer.
Yeah. Now, the microphone, I know I've been going on for a while here. The microphone I'm using this week, Gaz.
I've got to ask you the question.
I'm sorry.
So what mic is Guy using today?
Da-da-da. No, we got to catch some other kind of theme song for that. We use it for everything. Hey, Gaz, how are you today? Da-da-da.
Yeah.
Exactly. The microphone I'm using this week is the Audio Technica ATM 510.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. This is a dynamic microphone that costs about $100 on Amazon. It's actually it's a dynamic microphone, and it is a nice microphone. Though I was telling Gaz before we got started that I actually like that Sennheiser better. There's a
more
great
better.
sentence.
More
better than this one here. Though it is still a good mic. So what have you got going on? I'm going to shut up because I've been talking way too long.
Well, I'm going to be talking a lot in a minute, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
Well, this week I did a 4.6 mile run and then a 42.81 or 43, as Guy likes to put it, bike ride.
Just say 43.
A 43 mile bike ride this week. So the only time I spent on MyMac was to watch a presentation, work related. Not that I've got any work yet. And doing the MyMac show. In fact, it was the MyMac
podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. I did finish and got through to the end of For All Mankind.
Oh, third
that's
season?
Currently available. Third season? No, we've only got 2 seasons available. Let me just check that now, because I'm pretty sure that I've only got 2 seasons available to me here. I could be wrong because I wasn't heavily searching for it, but I'll tell you what. Now, actually, this is bringing up a good point. I do find the Apple TV Plus app a real pain because I would like to be able to see some of the stuff that I've seen before. No, we've only got 2 seasons here.
All right, I'm going to very quickly open.
Yeah. So while you check
Apple TV app.
So you go and check that while I go on. I said I thought it was just getting interesting just as I got to the end of it as well, and they did kind of wrap season 2 up with a bit of a, so everything's going to be all right. So I was a little bit fed up with that, but you let me know if there's a season 3, and I'll be fed up if we haven't got it over here in the UK. Now, I did last night. I know you'll come back to us. I did last night try to watch C. So I started watching it last night, and then what the hell was going on? Because I fell asleep, Guy, and then I woke up to a woman pleasuring herself. I thought, what is going on here? I didn't say anything rude there. And I thought,
Ladies and gentlemen, am I totally screwed or what?
All I'm saying is what I saw on an Apple TV show. I'm only telling you. It was a bit disconcerting, though, when I woke up and suddenly saw this little snippet. Now,
imagine how your wife felt.
Well, she was asleep. Don't worry.
Thank goodness.
So, I mean, you didn't see anything, but you could tell what she was doing. And I just thought, this is rubbish. So I stopped watching it, and I don't think I'm going to carry on watching it. It was just all too much.
What? I'd ask what program it is, but I don't know if we want to.
See.
Oh. Okay. I've never watched that.
Well,
the whole premise for it seemed.
I know it's within the first 20 minutes or so. It might be longer, but because I fell asleep.
The first episode.
Yeah, straight in there. No. And anyway, I wasn't impressed.
Okay, no, it looks like I was wrong. There was only 2 seasons.
There you go. You see, there you go.
Yeah,
you see now that's how good you think the show is because you want a 3rd season.
You know what it is? I'm at the end of the 1st season because I had such a long gap.
So I've now beaten you to the end of the 2nd season, and I've now given you a bit of a what they call it, a spoiler.
Well, not really.
Not really.
I kind of know some of the things that happen because there's all kinds of spoilers on YouTube. Okay. And I don't watch them, but
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
Okay. We'll stop right there.
Crack on and get on with it. So now I'm going to jump into Gaz's snippets.
So I knew we'd get there. There it is. That's what that's for.
That's what that's for. Okay. Apple gave Zoom access to special API to use iPad camera during split view multitasking. How's about that, guys and girls? Perhaps I shouldn't say that either. And that is very UK centric. Dear, oh dear, I'm going to get in trouble for that.
I'll tell you after something we were talking about earlier.
No. I'll tell you after why that's yep.
And again, this is why we can't do this show live.
No. AirTag. I'm moving on. AirTag hacked for the first time by a security researcher. Oh, I'm so bored of this sort of crap that goes on. Apple awards iPhone glass supplier Corning additional $45 million from an advanced manufacturing fund. So obviously
$45 million.
Right.
So that's like out of their chips and soda fund. That's what they have set aside. That's what it's set aside for. $45 million.
That's like, I suppose that's like
pocket change.
It's like the glass jar in the corner of the canteen, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like chink. Just drop some money in every once in a while.
Oprah or Opera, however you want to say her name, and Prince Harry's mental health docuseries debuts on May 21st on Apple TV Plus.
See this? They need this for me.
No. Right, ready?
Yeah.
Here's my face. 7. You can only see that if the YouTube video comes out, and there's a reason I say.
And I'm 2 episodes behind right now.
Yeah, and there ain't going to be a 2nd, 3rd. Anyway, I'll move on. 7 Apple suppliers in China have been allegedly caught using forced labor through state-run programs. Naughty.
Again, this is not Apple-run programs. These are contractors that Apple has contracts.
Yes, but
with.
The problem is, Guy, Apple is so linked to these manufacturers, of course, aren't they? Anyway, Apple are getting seedy, and they've seeded
run programs.
Yes. Yes, but the manufacturers of their products are using those state-run programs. And in consequence, Apple then have to check to say, are you using those state-run programs? Yes, you are. Well, we're not going to use you. No, we're not. We're going to carry on using you.
Make sure you give us all those iPhones first.
Yeah, before you use those.
We catch you doing those terrible things.
Apple seeds 3rd beta of tvOS 14.6. Apple seeds the 3rd beta of watchOS 7.5. Apple seeds the 3rd betas of iOS and iPadOS 14.6. And Apple has seeded the 3rd beta of macOS Big Sur 11.4 this last week. All to developers. Some of those have actually gone out to other users as well.
Yeah, I've got the Big Sur beta.
Well done, you. Apple has hired a former Facebook advertising exec to bolster its own ads platform. More later. Apple stopped signing iOS 14.5 following a bug fix iOS 14.51 release. Now, a UK class action accuses Apple of breaking competition law by overcharging for apps. Here's my comment. After I've put a little piece in, 1.5 billion UK lawsuit alleges Apple's excessive 30% cut unfairly raised Apple Store prices. The person, woman, doesn't matter. Can be a woman, can be a man, it could be anything in between that spectrum.
Yeah.
Apparently is a right bit of a dick. Now that is man orientated, but we all know what the word dick means. Nobody's got a great deal to say for her. I missed, and I am going to repeat what I've said before. I think that this woman is putting at risk my ability to be able to choose a secure and reliable environment that I have chosen. So, stupid woman in the UK, if you want to play that game, I, along, I'm sure, with a lot of other people, will continue to call you bastards for putting my security at jeopardy.
Missed again.
I'm going to repeat saying that every time one of these things comes up because I'm getting sick and tired of these people not realizing.
You notice you never see any follow-up to these stories.
Well, the follow-up, actually, Apple have said this accusation has no merit, and I agree with them. I'm getting sick and tired of this. I really am, and I think we'll probably have a little bit more to say in the second section.
Maybe.
Apple are merging iCloud Documents and Data service with iCloud Drive in May 2022, Guy. Specifically.
This is something I think is deserving of a much longer discussion. Maybe we'll talk about. We can talk about it possibly next week, but not the week after that, which I haven't talked to you about yet.
Oh. Are you deserting me? Anyway, Apple, Google, and others lobby U.S. Congress for 50 billion chip manufacturing subsidies amid global shortage. Apple Pay in Japan now supports Visa credit and debit cards. The UK has investigated whether Apple discriminates against disabled people with an iPhone upgrade program. That I was going to read a little bit more. It says the UK's financial ombudsman has opened an investigation into whether Apple discriminates against severely disabled customers through its iPhone upgrade program. The complaint was filed by Colin Hughes, a quadriplegic Apple user who says he is unable to comply with Apple's UK requirement to visit a store in person in order to join or renew. So that will actually go on for a bit until we see what the outcome of that is. Kind of agree with him to a degree, actually. He may not have bought it in the store, and if they're allowing him to go with that, but then asking him to come in store. Anyway, Apple Pay. Oh, I've said that one. Apple gave Zoom access to a special API to use iPad camera during split view multitasking. Yes. Well, I was going to say a bit more, but now I'm not. I'm going to leave you there, right?
No,
I'll leave you there.
No.
The fact that I didn't say more later, no, that's it. App Store stopped over 1.5 billion in suspect transactions in 2020.
Yes, it did.
More on that later. WhatsApp. Share your data with Facebook or we'll make our own app useless to you. Now, can I just ask a question here?
Of course.
Isn't that a bit monopolistic and actually cutting people out from being able to use your systems at all? Why isn't governments and all these people jumping up and down and wanting to sue WhatsApp and Facebook? I wonder.
Well,
Gary Huss.
I don't use WhatsApp, so
well, there's lots
of other
people.
If this is what they do, stop using WhatsApp. Seriously, make them change their minds or abandon it.
I was going to watch this to just say what I thought of it before I was going to mention it here, but I haven't watched it. So now I'm wondering whether I should mention it. I will do. Apple shares a trailer for the docuseries 1971, the year that music changed. it's coming to Apple on May 21st. We have mentioned it before, but they've actually released a trailer for it.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to seeing this because this is
I was going to go and watch it because I was looking forward to that as well.
Yeah,
I
was
am
11.
No,
I was 11 years old.
I'm not was looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it.
Well, I was, but now I am. So that's some weird combination. Okay.
I'm not really sure where that was going. Yeah, shut up. Really, please.
Shut up, guys. Shut up.
Newly discovered Wi-Fi vulnerabilities affect most devices, but the risk is small. A security researcher with a solid track record in discovering Wi-Fi vulnerabilities has discovered a new one. Some of those ones, not a new one, but a ones, some of the ones that he's discovered are part of the core security protocols of the Wi-Fi standard, so are present in virtually every device since 1997 onwards.
Well, it's a relatively recent discovery.
Yeah, relatively.
Okay. Hey, it's 24 years. I mean, you got to give them some time to get it right.
Absolutely. There are apps for people who want to be tracked for tax reason, Guy. I love this. It just made me laugh when I saw it. People going on about being tracked, and it then came up with this story about there are apps out there for people who want to be tracked for tax reasons. Yes, absolutely. AirTag used to successfully track a mailed package across the UK. Now, I was going to read a little bit more. An Apple customer in the United Kingdom has successfully used Apple's Find My network to track an AirTag as it was being sent by mail to a friend in a completely different city. Kirk McElhern said he taped an AirTag to a piece of card wrapped inside a small bubble envelope and then sent it on its way. Kirk lives in the small town of Stratford-upon-Avon, and he shipped his AirTag to a friend near London. Well done, you, mate. Well done, you.
Not a complete waste of time at all.
That just made me laugh. Guy, did you know that the HomePod is still available for purchase 2 months after being discontinued?
Yeah.
I'm kind of waiting for the price to drop before I jump out and buy one. But
they made such a big deal, and you remember when this first came out, it was like you heard all those stories of people going, "Oh, I'm going to get one of those before they're gone." And it's like, well, as it turns out, you really didn't have to hurry after all.
Apple enterprise management firm Jamf acquires Wanderer cloud security company for $400 million. That's a little bit more than back pocket change. That's like front pocket change.
Well, it also includes the stamps for when the postman comes around daily.
True. Now, the judge in Epic versus Apple case floats a potential compromise. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, to me, the compromise would be Epic. You're a bunch of stupid people. You've lost a bunch of money. Just let Apple have their store.
Perhaps he's giving them an out before they really hang themselves. Anyway, Apple has fired a newly hired ex-Facebook product manager following revelations of past misogynistic. I knew I could say that.
Very good. I applaud. I applaud you. That is not an easy word.
And I knew I could say it, and then I went and fell over it. That was stupid, wasn't it? So he didn't last very long, that guy. Apple's Mac sales rocket to 335.5% in India. Yeah.
It was at that 0.5, that was the hardest bit to get right there.
Now, what I want to know is, did they round it up to the 0.5, or could they have just said 336?
Well, it was 335.43, and they were like,
Well, yeah. So they should have rounded it down to 334. 35, rather.
They did.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Let's move on. A survey has found 60% of iOS device owners will buy an AirTag, but blue is the most popular iMac color.
Okay. I totally see how those are related.
It just made me laugh.
Yeah, I'm one of the 6 of 10 that bought AirTags, but blue.
No, blue iMac. Blue iMac. Apple's notebook shipments grew an estimated 94% in Q1 2021. Apple has shared a trailer for Home Before Dark Season 2 ahead of the June 11 premiere. Now, Disney Plus has 103.6. Now, why that couldn't have been rounded up to 104, I don't know, but 103.6 million subscribers. Apple, Guy, reportedly had 40 million by the end of 2020. That's a lot of subscribers.
The other stories I've seen is that Disney Plus's subscription rate has flattened.
Well, at 103, that's not bad. What I'd like to know out of that 40 million by the end of 2020 for Apple is how many are still on that free service that they keep handing out to everybody.
Yeah. It's like, oh, it's Tuesday. Here's
because I'll tell you what, if you were Disney Plus, you had to pay for it.
You did.
The first Apple store in the center of Rome opens soon on the Via del Corso. So if you live in the center of Rome, you will have
you are one lucky
store. Guy. Store. Yeah. There's several reasons why you're lucky, but this is one of them.
You're not listening to this show because you speak Italian.
You're listening to the show because we don't. Okay, Apple says that the tile trackers sold poorly in Apple stores. So why did they then think that them creating a tracker would make it sell any better?
Well, they wouldn't sell tile trackers any better. That's
no, but trackers.
Trackers in general. I don't know. I have absolutely no compulsion to buy these.
Nor have I.
Yeah.
An Apple expert witness grilled by Epic over frictionless spending outside of the app. There's a few things that have been going on this first week. In fact, we're almost at the end of the second week now.
Yeah.
And I've got a few comments actually after this, so I'll come to those in a little while.
Okay.
This is a bit of a personal stab, actually.
Really?
Volkswagen's ID.4 EV features wireless CarPlay. There's the Apple link. But don't buy it, guys, because remember, Volkswagen are the company that cheated on the admissions rules. I lost a lot of money, as did a lot of other people. So the fact that it's got Apple CarPlay... No.
There were lawyers that made a lot of money. So
there are lawyers that make a lot of money. I lost a load, all right? I hate Volkswagen.
Lots of other people. I'm not
lying,
too pleased with them either.
Lying swines as far as I'm concerned. Lying swines as far as I'm concerned. Didn't treat me at all. At all. Apple, anyway, I'll move on. Apple Music Beta for Android confirms lossless audio streaming is in the works.
Ooh. Isn't that what Apple lossless is?
What, in the works?
No, it's called Apple Lossless. That's a format that they use. Isn't that lossless by definition?
Sorry, did I miss the word there? Apple Music Beta for Android confirms lossless audio streaming is in the works.
Oh.
For Android. Android. Those people.
Da-da-da. Sorry.
Anyway.
Android. We have too much fun on this show.
Apple discontinuing space gray iMac accessories available only while supplies last. Now, apparently, this is because the iMac space gray is now finished.
No, that's fine because you get them right along with those last few AirPods or HomePods that they have.
Yeah. Apple patents a way to deliver 3D content without 3D glasses, Guy.
Okay. What if you only have one eye? How do you work that one out?
Well, I didn't say that how many eyes you needed. I just said that found a way without glasses to have it. So
okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Okay, Apple versus Epic. Oh, sorry, that's the end of Gaz's snippets for this little section. But I've got a quick comment. Apple versus Epic. An interesting tidbit came when Sweeney admitted that he uses an iPhone because of Apple's focus on privacy and security. Okay. Now, later on in the trial, it was touted or told that in 2019, 4.8 million apps were for those out there, 4,808,685 to be precise, apps were submitted for the App Store review process, and 36% of them, or 1,747,278, were rejected. Now, according to Cosminka, or however you say that, of these rejected apps, about 215,000 infringed Apple's privacy guidelines in some way. I'll go back to the first sentence I said. Tim Sweeney admitted that he uses an iPhone because of Apple's focus on privacy and security.
Yeah.
Tim, I think that you are putting at risk my ability to be able to choose a secure and reliable environment that I have chosen. So if you want to play that game along with, I'm sure, a lot of the people, we would like to continue to call you bastards for putting my security at jeopardy. You missed again. I'm just gonna keep going on about this until people get it into their heads. There is a massive reason that a lot of people choose Apple. Not the only one, but there is a lot of people that this is top of their list, and I'm one of them. Yeah. And that's the end of my rant. Again. I've got a link, Guy.
Tell me.
I've got a link. That's his link.
Hold on. We've got Gaz's snippets, Gaz's rants, and Gaz's all link. In one show.
Yeah. Well, here we go. This is a wowzer for me. 43 years, Guy, and 14 billion miles later, Voyager 1 is still crunching data to reveal secrets of the interstellar medium. I'm going to put this link in the link section.
Okay.
But for me, that's wow. I think they overspec that machine, don't you?
Maybe. But you think about this now. It's been out there for 43 years. It's continuing on its journey outside of the solar system. It is the first man-made device that has actually left the solar system and gotten into interstellar space. Voyager aside, so actually this is going to turn into Voyager, which if you watch the very first Star Trek movie,
yes, absolutely,
this is going to come back and haunt us later with a giant space cloud.
We'll be dead. You and I will be dead. But
no, I won't be because I'm living forever.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's upset a lot of people.
See, this is why it doesn't bother me that I'm almost 61 years old, because I am going to live forever.
Yeah.
This is.
But are you going to live forever at 61, or are you going to live forever at 71 or 81 or 91?
I have not worked that out yet.
Right. Okay.
That's coming soon.
Because when you start living forever at that particular age, that could be really interesting.
I'm 736 years old. Who said that? That little pile of dust over there.
Anyway, that's the end of Gazzy's link. Shall I take us out?
Take us out.
Stand. Oh dear. Very good. Do you know you're getting good at this? Stand by for Voyager to stand by, and Voyager will be right back.
After 43 years and 14 billion miles.
Or maybe not. Hi everyone and welcome to point 2, not point 2, point 2 of this week's mighty MyMac podcast. Yes, the G-Men are still here, incredibly. Yeah. I think that section went on for about 20 minutes longer than it should have done in terms of the gap, Guy, because of what we were talking about. But the people won't know because we're not going to do a live show. It's too dangerous.
It is.
So let's get on to safer.
Let's get on. You're canceled.
let's get on to safer ground and ask the question, Guy. I want to ask the question.
All right.
Is Apple a monopoly?
Yes. And no.
Well, let's go to the Gaz's tip.
So, so there's an article. The way this whole thing started, there was an article in USA Today, even though it was from a couple days ago. So it's so metaphysical, by see if I get this name right, Sumit Sharma. And if I
can't tell you if that name was pronounced correctly or not. But
it was weird, and I know we're going off on a complete tangent here. I looked up because I wasn't sure if this was a man or a woman based on the name, because I don't know Indian names that well.
Okay.
So I went to look him up, and at first I was like, well, this guy's got some cred. He's the CEO of this company. And then I found out, no, it wasn't that Sumit Sharma. It was a different Sumit Sharma. And so based on that alone, Gaz, I'm blaming everything that I do that's wrong on a different Guy Searle, because there's so many of us out there. Anyway,
there's far too many.
Far too many.
There's far too many Searles. Anyway, let's get on to the subject in hand.
Okay, subject in hand.
And I'll tell you what, I've got to say, I'll take ownership, because I think I actually led you up the path there.
Maybe a little bit. So the author in the article claims that Apple and Google have a stranglehold on mobile phones, operating systems, and which kind of sets the tone right away on his opinion for this issue. And that's fair enough, as this was listed as an opinion piece. Looking at the article, though, he has several things wrong, overblown, or possibly misguided. I'm hoping misguided, and that he's not just, doing one of those, I need 500 words for this article that I may or may not get paid for from USA Today. So first one, he claims that there were no, I love this, that there were no mobile app stores prior to the launch of the iPhone, which is untrue, as some mobile phone app stores existed as far back as 1998.
Yep.
With one of the first being for Palm and Palm compatible devices. Now, several others came later, some exclusive to a particular device or operating system, others tied to mobile services that would be tied to cellular providers. And there was even a mobile tablet store for apps that ran the Nokia 770 tablet. So there's the first part of it. It's kind of like, yeah, no, you're not right there.
Okay. Are you trying to discredit this guy before we get?
No, because he does have some points here, and
okay,
we will get to those.
Okay.
Virtually all smartphones run iOS or Android. Now, this is mostly true.
Mostly clean.
It is mostly clean, especially in the case of the iPhone. And the reason why it's only mostly true in my mind is that there are so many variants for Android phones based on carriers and others based on manufacturers that it's really hard to kind of nail. I mean, hell, they're still selling some phones out there that are running like Android 3 and 4.
Wow.
Brand new. So
really?
Yeah.
Really?
If you go and you look at the mobile phone operating system usage, like which ones are out there that are still kind of pinging along.
Yeah.
There are some that go so far back for Android that it's kind of like, oh my God, you're still running that today? 2021, that's still there.
It's probably,
iPhones,
we used to, we would have once said, well, that's dangerous because, it's a security risk. But it's probably so old, it's probably not a security risk anymore.
They're like, I'm going to... No. Sorry, it's low-hanging fruit. So
it's low-hanging fruit, and that's not low-hanging or fruit.
Yeah, no, it's pretty stinky. So that's, that I guess you could pretty much say that is true, that virtually all smartphones do run either iOS or some flavor of Android.
Yeah.
Now, he claims that, and I can believe this one, that gross revenues for Apple in 2020 in relation to the app markets was over $70 billion, and for Google, 57 billion. That's true enough, but claims that this market is the reason rules for their, and I love this, captive users. Those are his words.
Captive users.
And developers. And it's like, really? So no one has any choice. If they have an iPhone, they can't just go, you know what? I'm tired of dealing with Apple, so I'm going to buy an Android phone. They can't do that. Or if they're on Android and they want to buy either a different phone with Android or an iPhone, they can't do that either. So they can't. They're captive.
You see, as a developer, you may well be captive in the iOS environment because that's the environment
for iOS. Yeah.
Because that's the environment you decided to code
develop for. Yeah.
Now, as a business move, you needed to speak to me first, because putting all of your eggs in one basket in any business, whatever you do, is not a clever move. No. And when I hear lots of developers going, oh, yeah, I was really happy to get into the iOS development program and actually create an app and then push it out there, and then I started making money. But now you've suddenly got greedy and you now are thinking about the development costs and also the cut that Apple takes, and you want to go elsewhere. Here's the point I said earlier. You put all your eggs in one basket and you shouldn't have done. Doesn't matter what business you've got to think about the future and what could happen. And Apple could suddenly go, we're going to now charge you 50%. And what are you going to do? You're not going to stay there. Now, they're not going to do that. If anything, they're going to bring those costs down. But don't put your eggs in one basket. Or if you do put your eggs in one basket, don't complain about the consequences further down.
Right. And the other problem for developers, as far as iOS versus Android, is what market are you selling it in Android? Because there's lots of different markets out there for applications. And the problem is there's a lot of fake apps out there, or apps that have been stolen by a different developer, and they're giving it for free. They're giving it for reduced costs, or it's got some kind of bad package that's included with it.
It is a little bit like the Wild West out there as being a developer. So actually, I might give you a little bit more of a business advice: is don't become a developer. But that's a little bit harsh, really.
Okay.
Some would say my last comments were harsh, but you know.
Uses the position that Apple and Google prohibit payment systems other than their own for apps and in-app purchases. Now, this is true.
Security.
This is true. But the reasons go beyond just making money. Security for purchases is another, as having one place to go for purchase disputes is better than trying to negotiate with multiple vendors, some of which are protected by the laws of the country they operate in, so they can pretty much act with impunity. There's nothing you can do about it.
No.
The Amazon's third-party store is a good example of that kind of going to the extreme. There's lots of stuff that you can buy from Amazon that isn't from Amazon. They don't stock it. All they do is take the money for it, keep a percentage for themselves, and then pass the rest to whoever sold it. And if you get some piece of crap stupid phone. Why is my phone doing this?
Oh, he didn't turn his phone off. His phone off. Guy is a bad boy. Guy is a bad boy. Gaz looks at his phone and turns it off too.
There. And it's so distracting because not only does it appear on my phone and buzz in my pocket, now it's like on my screen as well.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see if I learn this lesson next week. It's not guaranteed.
Yeah, you won't.
So, like I was saying, the Amazon third-party store is a good example where you buy something supposedly from Amazon. They don't stock it. It's this other company sends it to you. And if it's a piece of crap and you want your money back, Amazon may give you your money back. But it's you've wasted your time. And as far as these companies go, they're in and out. You know, they get a couple of complaints and Amazon says, well, you can't sell anymore. So they just make a new store.
Yeah, it's just, there's a monopoly there, which I'm really, well, you've heard my thoughts on.
Yeah. Oh, Amazon is, and that's the part that really cracks me up is when you're looking at online sales, nobody sells as much stuff or has as much profit from selling stuff as Amazon does.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. So also a lot of this, what it boils down to is app developers not wanting to share revenue with the platform that the app is running on and is supported by. So try walking into a Walmart or any retail store to sell something and see how fast you are removed from that store.
Can I defend developers here? Although I had
Sure.
a bit of a go at them earlier, I'll defend them a little bit here. I'm not sure that they would not want to share if they know.
I'm not saying all of them. I'm talking about like Epic, for example.
Talking about very specific.
One little example.
Yeah, but even Epic, I'm not sure that they don't want to share a certain amount. What they deem is they think that the cut is too high, and the restrictions are too high.
Okay, I disagree. Because
okay,
in
go on.
Epic's case, number one, they don't want to share. Number two, what they want to have happen is for people to go to their app store, buy V-Bucks there, but have Apple process the payment for it. So, I'm sorry, you just can't expect a company to allow something like that. I just don't see how this is of any benefit at all for Apple. And at the end of the day, there's got to be some kind of benefit for Apple, or why would they do it?
Yeah, okay. but I'm going to retort that. I still think that Epic would be prepared to pay a certain amount.
McQueenie, sorry. So,
Tim Sweeney, who uses an iPhone for privacy reasons.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no retailer or app store has to allow you on the platform. There's also no mention of other stores with similar restrictions, such as those run by Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo for their game consoles, that also charge fees remarkably the same as reason why I'm laughing there, because I misspelled fees. I put fess. Remarkably the same as Apple or Google's. So that part of it is true, that they do prohibit payment systems other than their own for apps and in-app purchases.
But I want to be secure in my payment processes.
Exactly.
This is what really winds me up. And the amount of times you find that someone has been, compromised, some smaller company, some other company. Now, if Apple gets compromised, wow, it's going to be big. But they are so on it all the time, and they have to be on it so much more than some of these smaller
Target
options.
And Walmart have had compromises. In their system,
and
with people's information released in the wild.
Absolutely. So I'm sorry, but it's about who you trust, and I don't trust many companies at all.
No. I trust Apple though, for the most part.
For the time being,
until they prove that they can't.
For the time being, so do I. And they have proven that in the past. Certainly with this, this one-time credit card transaction where you do the chip and pin. That's just brilliant. Just brilliant.
Yeah, I love it. I hardly pull out credit cards anymore. I just use my phone.
Agreed.
All right.
I use my watch.
I have this ring. No, I don't. Just kidding. No.
I use my finger now.
I use a finger. All right. One particular one. All right. The last
is it the middle finger?
I know. Well, no, maybe. So this is the last bit, and then we'll move on.
No, I don't want to move on.
Apple and Google's own apps set as default give them an unfair advantage over similar apps, and those apps don't require the same commissions. This is very true.
Yep.
And is the one really super good point that he made in this article.
Yep.
Now, Apple only recently has allowed for other apps to be set as default for certain functions. And this is wrong. It should be much easier and transparent to do so. And I would go as far to say that those apps that compete with Apple's own services shouldn't be charged a commission if they're paid for apps. Or Apple should break off those default apps to a separate company who would have to compete on the same level. Now, having said that, these apps that require access and interoperability to core functions in the operating system should be scrutinized much harder than apps that don't. And Apple should have the right to reject or restrict apps that attempt to break user privacy, especially apps that are related to mobile payments similar to Apple's or Google's, and that warnings would have to be put in place informing users that Apple or Google would not be responsible for hardware damage or broken locked phones related to using apps outside of Apple's or Google's control, and that any financial loss would be on the user to negotiate with the app developer or associated companies. This is why they don't do it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, because as soon as you put those warnings, I'll just use Apple, I'll just use Google.
Yeah.
And I get that. I totally get that. It comes down to these companies wanting to pay less for the use of a very large ecosystem which has been created.
Not captive.
Not captive.
And it's not a monopoly.
No, totally not. Totally not. I just find it. We're in a different world now, though. We are in a different business world, definitely, because obviously, the world of mobile computing over the last 10 years has just gone.
Yeah,
it's just in lots of different directions, and it's changing the world that we live in. So I kind of get that business is now having to go through these fights, the same as business had to go through these sorts of fights in the past when restrictions came on. But the biggest piece for me is the fact that we are now allowing our data, personal data. I'm not so much worried about the tracking data, although I don't track.
Yeah.
I don't want to be tracked. All of that. It's more the fact that they can suddenly get access to all of my credit cards and all, don't worry about it. The bank will pay it back. That's not the point. We'll be paying in the end, because those banks, are having to pay all this money out because of fraud.
Yep.
At the end of the day, they've still got to make a profit.
Rates.
They've got to make the profits as well. So at the end of the day, we'll be having to pay for this. And I don't want all and sundry being able to get access to my data for people I don't trust. So
yeah.
It's a whole new world out there, and I don't get it.
On a personal note, it was driven home to me last week on just how tied in these services are for showing you ads that they think you want to know about. I've got a friend at work who bought, for reasons unknown, a timeshare. And if you don't know what a timeshare is, it's basically rental use of a property for 1 week a year. And you pay an X number
period.
for that.
X period a year.
Yeah. And you also have to pay a maintenance fee. Well, some people, whether you use it or not, you still have to pay the maintenance fee. And some people, over the course of time, or when they die and this property, which it really isn't, gets passed off to relatives, then they're now responsible for these fees. Well, he wanted to get out of it. So I did a search to see, well, how do you get out of a timeshare? And I don't want to get into all the stuff that I found, but suddenly on YouTube, just before I would start to watch a video, they show you a little ad. I start getting all these ads for how to get out of timeshares. And it's like, stop. I don't care. Stop giving me ads on this, because I don't have a timeshare because I wasn't stupid enough to get involved with one.
Well, this thing with Instagram and Facebook saying, well, if we don't know about you, we can't show you ads which are related to what you want. Actually, you know what? I want to see ads for things that I don't want, because that might make me want those things that I didn't know I wanted. The things that I want, guess what? I do research on them and I look for them and then I buy them. If I want it, That's the process I go through. You just sending me another advert of something that I already want means it goes whoosh straight over my head.
You're wasting my time.
So those people that are spending their money advertising for you to do that to me are wasting their money and time.
Yep.
Folks, if you're an advertiser, think on that. Your ads, if you push them through Facebook and through Google, very often are being pushed to people that have either already bought or know what they want and will do the research. Because guess what? We're living in a new age.
Yep. And when you force them to sit there and for at least 5 to 10 seconds see an advertisement for a product that they don't want, they're going to get pissed off. And the next time they need it, they may go someplace else.
Well, yeah. They don't want now because they've already bought it. That's the point. I want to see ads for stuff that I don't know that I'm not interested. That I don't know that currently I'm not interested in. Does that make sense? He's nodding his head. He's nodding his head. Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
It's time for
Gaz's tip. I was almost on another rant then, so I didn't see you nodding your head. Yeah. If you've got a trackpad or a Magic trackpad, I think with your desktop, because obviously you could have a Mac, a MacBook which has got a trackpad. So if you've got a Magic trackpad with your Mac Mini or your iMac, why not enable dragging with 3-fingered drags? Ooh, that was timing stop there. There's just a gap there, comedic gap. This means you don't have to press down on the trackpad on a window to move it around your screen. All you have to do is just pop your 3 fingers onto the pad and move that object around. So you need to go to accessibility, then go down to the pointer / control mouse, because it may be different on which operating system you're on, and then trackpad, and then click on trackpad options. And in there, you can see 3-fingered moving. I think it's called 3-fingered moving, whatever it is. And then you can move the window around with just a 3-fingered control. So much easier than going to that page and then obviously clicking and holding and then moving it around. Nodding my head. Guy, I have to wait, folks, for this because I have to wait for Guy.
Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
Is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish? I think what I've got to do is actually see.
You are absolutely right.
I've got to let Guy see these tips beforehand so he can try it, because I'm watching the window and I'm watching him going, oh, yes, I'm trying.
How do I do that? I want to make sure that... So that was pointer control. Is it pointer control?
Yes. Or it might be to pointer or control / mouse. Pointer control mouse.
I don't see anything about mice in this thing. It says pointer control. Mouse
pointer control. That's the one. If it's control, it might be mouse and trackpad if you're on an older version.
Okay. Enable dragging.
Yeah.
Without drag lock. I hit OK, and let's see what happens here.
This could be disaster.
Crap! It didn't work.
You're in accessibility, aren't you?
Yes. Mouse and trackpad.
This is great audio.
It's wonderful. Audio. Just wonderful. Okay,
control. In pointer control,
or not,
and then trackpad options, right? So you go to pointer control, and at the bottom you've got trackpad options. Click on trackpad options, and then enable dragging, and then 3-fingered drag. Got it?
No, it's not working.
Well, you're on the same version I'm on.
Mouse and trackpad, alternate control methods.
Right. Whoa. You're on accessibility. You've gone down to pointer control.
Yes.
Yeah. Trackpad options. Can you see that?
Yes.
Click on that, and then it comes up with enable dragging.
Yes.
Click on enable dragging. Yes. But if you then click on the drop,
drag.
Yes, and then if you click on the drop down, 3-fingered drag. Got it?
No, it didn't work.
It did, you
fibberookie. It did work. I'm bouncing a fibber.
Fibberookie. Anyway, and that's finally the end of Gaz's tip.
Da, da, da. Okay.
I've popped my link in there, but do you have a pick for pick's sake this week?
I do. And I haven't picked one of these in a long time. Zombie Tsunami for iOS, which is also playable.
You love zombie games.
I used to pick them like all the time. I had a
you
ton
did.
of zombie games, and then either they disappeared or they stopped working or what have you. This one still works. And as a matter of fact, it's even very easily. This is one of the few iOS games that I have that plays very easily on the Mac. And you have to be running Big Sur, of course. This is an easy side scroller with just two things for zombies to do: eat people and jump. And it kind of goes at its own pace, and you can have this big, huge, long line. I've had up to 30 zombies, and they go along and they'll hit planes and get more people and trash cans and cars and all kinds of stuff. And there's all kinds. It's a fun game. I enjoy it, and it's free with in-app purchases. And of course, that's in the aforementioned such a horrible locked-in place. The iOS App Store, just terrible.
It's just terrible. It's dreadful place. Dreadful place. Okay, I've actually got for pick's sake this week.
Nice.
Now, I've just started trying to use this, although I'm a little bit tied into one password, so it makes it quite difficult. But if you're looking at a password manager, go take a look at Bitwarden. Okay,
that's another thing we should talk about.
We should. So Bitwarden actually it's got business plans and it's got a personal plan. Now, the personal plan, the basic account is free. Okay, and it's going to be free forever. This is an open source system as well, which is always good. Open source is not bad. Open source is good, folks. But in that personal plan, it's also got a premium account for $1 a month, right? These are sort of costs that you can afford. And if you want a family setup, it only costs $40 a year, or $3.33 a month rather. So that's $40
How many
a year.
licenses does that give you? Or is it
six users.
That's enough for any family, really.
Yeah. Now,
I say that it's like, well, I've got 14 kids. It's like,
yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah. Well,
it won't be good for you.
Then you might go for a business plan. Then the business plan actually is different costs, but you can still do it. Now, this is it's very similar to one password. It's not quite got the finesse so far. I've only just started playing with it, so I haven't had a full test of it, but I've started playing with it on my devices, and it hasn't quite got that one password finesse, but so far I'm quite impressed. And for those sorts of costs, it's got all of the encryption processes that you need to go for. It's open source, which is good.
Does it save to like Dropbox or anything like that also?
It's got its link. Vault? So you do have to sign in on an online account. And that's where
you got to do that with one password too.
Yeah, so that's where the link goes through, and that's where obviously the creation of that user goes across different devices. But you can use it on any device. You can use it on multiple platforms. So go over and have a look at Bitwarden and have a look at the reviews. Don't take my word for it. Do a bit of searching, but actually, I think it's more reasonable on the cost. It's as good as you need, I think, for a password manager, because sometimes I think to a degree, 1Password got themselves into a situation where they need to get better and better and more fantastic and more brilliant, but we're going to charge you arm and a leg for it. It's not an arm and a leg, of course, but that's my own personal opinion. So
and tell them Gaz sent you, and they'll say who.
Yeah, precisely. They will. Go and have a look at it, and it's got good comparisons. It's got good pricing. Go and take a look at Bitwarden. That's bitwarden.com. BITWARDEN.com.
And there will be links in the show notes.
And that's my for pit's sake.
Gaz, remember last week?
Yep.
We asked for flat earthers to call us.
Oh, did we get some?
No, not exactly. Exactly. But we did get not one, not two, but three. Three.
You're messing with me.
No,
your brother Larry called in, didn't he?
I wish. I haven't talked. I need to call him. As a matter of fact, hello, Larry.
I'm your brother.
I'm your brother guy. The first two of them are for one person, and I think you will know exactly who this is. So
Go on,
I'm just going to go right into it.
They're the G-Men on the MyMac program. Why did someone give them a show? It probably seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah, Tim. Yeah.
No, that was Greg.
No. Tim thought it was a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
To give us a
Tim definitely thought it was a good idea at the time.
At the time. He's
Yeah,
regretted
not
it
sure
ever
how
since,
he feels about it now.
Well, I can't kill him off.
Yeah. It's just, they would prosecute me. Maybe. Here's another one.
The Confederated Union of Locomotive Engineers has sent a cease and desist letter insisting that we no longer call this show a train wreck. They're the G-Men on the MyMac show.
Now that is clever. I like that.
That is going to go into rotation.
Yes.
As a bumper. That is brilliant.
I do like that. It's very clever.
Thank you, Greg. That is fan-freaking-tastic. And there was one more. I didn't understand everything that this person said.
Okay.
So I may need some translation, but I think I got the gist of it. Here it is.
Hello. I was listening to the Mac show this week. I think it was called MyMac, yes. And they told me that the Earth was flat. Oh, I didn't know that. I think that's what they said. Very educational, the MyMac show.
I think I know who that is.
And the thing, I don't think we said Europe was flat.
No. Yeah. Look, mate, you've got to be listening properly. Because we didn't say it was flat. We said it was definitely not flat. So that's not flat. Okay.
Yeah. If you look at Europe, it's like a globe. It's round. That's yeah.
Globular.
Globular. Yeah, globular.
Thank you very much. Oh, yes, we know that is.
So funny.
We won't mention it because his Birmingham accent is as bad as mine.
So, but again, if anyone from these various, and if you know someone who's a flat earther, tell them to call us.
If you know someone who's a flat earther, pretend you don't know them.
Yeah, we're very sorry. But anyone who listens to all these conspiracy theories, whether it's flat Earth or the 9/11 and truthers, or what was the other one we were talking about?
People not landing on the moon.
Oh yeah. The fake moon landing
people. There's me.
Yeah, those people. If you can call us up and within the span of a minute or less, explain your position and why you think these things are true, we will still make fun of you.
But we'll play it.
We'll still
make
fun of you and call you silly.
Yeah.
So that's
because the Earth is flat. You know, I told you it is.
The water just flows right off. I don't know where it goes to from there.
What sort of accent is that?
I have no idea.
You see, that's exactly the way I said Americans do British accents.
I know. And then there's also the way they do French accents.
It's just the same with a bit of onion.
My French accent is so much better than my European English accent.
There was a bit of German thrown in there.
Okay, yeah. Well, you got to do that fast transition. So,
oh dear,
it's either way. My wife says I can't do accents, and I just proved her wrong.
Yeah. you just proved her.
Yeah, wrong. There.
She makes bread. She makes bread.
She does, and puts up with me. If you would like to help support me,
yeah, she does. I don't know the hell what I do.
Oh, and all of the crazy crap that we talk about on this show, you can. Not many people do, but you can. And all you'd have to do is actually, there's like almost nobody. Patreon.com/MacParrot, coffee, KO-FI /MacParrot, or PayPal at paypal.me/MacParrot.
And if you want to get in contact with us, just listen to one of the old shows because you know how to.
That's right. And they're so much better as you go farther back.
Yes.
So, are we really not going to do that this week? I'll let it go. I swear, I will go right past it.
Go on then.
I will be happy about it, and I'll be thinking about this for hours.
Go on then.
I'll let it go. All right, Gaz.
Go on. Yes.
I'd like to say, wow, this is hard. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who listens, and downloads. See, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore.
No, you don't.
To the MyMac.com podcast. We really, really do appreciate the fact that you have taken the time to do. Oh, don't see, now you're making it worse. You're making it worse. Because now I want to do all those things. See, here's the problem. Gaz knows me so well.
Yeah,
and he knows the buttons. He knows the buttons to push that will just drive me insane.
Guy's the one.
So thank you all for the things that I just said a minute ago that I'm not going to repeat. And Gaz, I think that we're good enough. God, this is so hard. I think that we're smart enough.
His name was Guy.
Stop it. And that Wilf Gauntlet. Oh, I saw. I'm going to go off topic here again. We have time since we're not doing any of the contact stuff this week. I saw those pictures that you put up of Wilf on your long walk. Long walk with Wilf. I said, wow. Yes. I said, wow to the Wilf walks.
Well, it was a wet Wilf walk, wandering. So it was a wet Wilf wandering.
Wilf walk. And he wandered while wondering when he was going to be wet. All right, we're just going to stop doing that now. I don't even know where to go now. Wilf Gauntlet, people like us. There.
Yes.
Seal
yo ale nan. Fay. Ajiman kont cake.
Ants in my brain.
Kaliti. Tinokajigli. Petetit. Conan toot coat nan lee. And premi.
Yee.
Okay, Guy.
Yeah.
What do you call a deceased Finnish man? Finished. or end.
So you can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on. Go on home and go home.